Let's quickly talk about group 18. So the first word abet means to help somebody or to aid somebody. A very common phrase would be aiding and abetting. Here's the thing though, it's usually helping somebody with a crime or something nefarious. If something is accessible, it's reachable, you can get to it. If you describe a book as accessible, that means it's easy to understand for lay people, non-experts. If somebody is acquisitive, they're greedy, they're rapacious, they just want a lot of money, they love the dollars. To amalgamate something means to combine or to put two things together. Think if you amalgamate two metals to create an alloy, for example. Attenuate means to weaken or decline in strength, often used with a signal. So, for example, as a signal travels through the air or through space, it attenuates, it gets weaker over time. I think like a square with the distance. Augment means to increase or to add to. So, if you augment your house or your apartment, maybe you build another floor or another room. Aversion means a distaste or dislike, even a strong dislike of something. You might have an aversion to black olives on pizza, for example. If somebody is blithe, that means they don't give a crap. They don't care. They just kind of walk through life, not oblivious to their surroundings, a very casual attitude. Contempt, of course, means to condemn somebody. I mean, that's kind of the same word, but contempt basically means you have disdain for somebody or something. If somebody has contempt for something, they obviously don't like it. There's disdain there. To dawdle means to move slowly, kind of like people who walk on the sidewalk and you can't pass them. Very frustrating. To deflect means to go in a different direction. So, for example, a ball can deflect right or deflect left. Or, for example, if you are speaking and you don't want to give a clear answer, you can deflect. Discount means to dispute the validity of something, cast doubt on something. So we're not really talking about a price discount here. We're talking about if you discount somebody's idea. Dissident is a rebel or someone challenging the government, for example. Efficacious, I mean, it goes with the word efficacy, which means it works. It produces a good result. So if something is efficacious, that's a good thing. Equitable means fair and just. The way I like to think about it is equal. So when you have an equitable justice system, that's a good thing, right? All right, let's go ahead and scroll down. Erratic means no clear pattern. Kind of the things are jumping all over the place and you can't predict it. If somebody's industrious or you're industrious, it means you're hardworking and diligent. You have to be very industrious to do well on the GRE. Inform obviously means to give somebody information, but it has another meaning as well. If something informs something else, that means it has a big effect on it or strongly influences it. So, for example, maybe comic books informed your childhood. Irksome means annoying, nettlesome, frustrating, like a younger brother or sister. Manacle means to limit somebody. It's almost like putting handcuffs on them. If you manacle them, you kind of constrain them. If somebody's modest, they're shy, they're reserved, they don't like to brag, they don't like to gloat. If it's a modest amount of something, that means a small amount. So it actually has a couple of definitions here. Noxious is poisonous, harmful, smells bad. Think about a noxious kind of chemical going through a confined area. That's no good. Pernicious means, again, it's a negative word. It means kind of like has a harmful effect or it's producing a negative result if something is pernicious. Predicament is a problem. You might find yourself in a predicament with the GRE. Maybe you only have 2 weeks to study. If you are proficient in something, you are good at it. You're competent, you're skilled, you know how to do it. A prolix person is somebody who just doesn't stop talking, talks all the time, loves to talk. Scorn is like disdain or contempt, very similar to that word we've already had. If you have scorn for something, you obviously have a negative opinion of it. Subordinate or subordinate, it can be an adjective or a verb, means to be lower than. If something is subordinate to something else, it is less important, it is lower than. Unseemly means having indecorous behavior. It's impolite. It goes against social mores. It goes against social conventions. So you don't want to be unseemly at the dinner table or something. And then finally, veritable is a word you put before something almost as an intensifier. So it's very similar to very, Very. So, you could say he was a veritable lion. He's like a really strong lion, something like that.